So who do you go to when you need help? When you don't have the resources, the tools, the energy, the strength, and maybe the patience to do whatever it is you need to do to get yourself out of a predicament. Who do you call? Now, let's put aside the spiritual stuff. If you believe in a higher being, let's just act as if you don't. And please, let's shed that I'm a warrior who runs through walls and breaks through the glass ceilings and I do what I must because I'm a survivor type of thing. Okay, let's put that to the side and be truthful now. Who do you call when you're in trouble and your back's against the wall? Because I'm going to tell you who thinks he and she is a superhero that moves through a revolving door because they believe they're here to save us. Or at least they act like they're here to save us. But they're not, and they don't, and they won't. For the most part, 98% of these superheroes never save us. And I'm talking about your local politician or government official. Those people go through revolving doors like Superman. Even though apparently Superman and the revolving door and him changing into his costume is more of a 1 or 2 time thing that actually happened in his comic book career. But somehow that's stuck in our psyche for whatever reason. But that's neither here nor there. My point is, who do you call when you're in trouble? Because these people are saying we need to call them. These politicians, these government officials going through the revolving door. And let me tell you what revolving door I am speaking about. I'm talking about the wheels that grease crony capitalism. If you don't know or don't understand what crony capitalism is, let me break it down for you really quick. Really quick. A government official or an ex-employee of a big company goes to a government official and lobbies and counsels the government in favor of the industry this person works in and vice versa. Now let me break it down more. Let's say I'm part of a board of a company that makes millions and millions of dollars and we're just going to choose oil. Now, I've made millions and millions of dollars in the oil company. All of a sudden, the government, by the behest of special interest groups and maybe even the populace and the population and the people that have been affected, want to curtail the oil industry, want to regulate, meaning add more laws to the industry. Now, this board member who works in the oil industry somehow, some way finagles himself to work in government. And more often than not, now that he's in government, he's actually in charge of the department that's assigned with making the laws to regulate the industry where he worked. So I own said millions and millions of dollars because I worked in oil. I see the government's trying to add more laws, make it harder for me to make money. So I go to government, to work in government, to be part of the committee or department that is now going to make the laws for where I worked. Do you think that I'm going to make laws that are going to affect the oil industry knowing that I came from there? Of course not. Of course not. Let's be real. Let's be real. So this revolving door happens everywhere. In big pharma, military industrial complex, financial institutions. Goes on everywhere. And who is losing the most money? Well, if we're being honest here, the government doesn't get paid unless the people get taxed. For the most part, it's our taxes that pay these scumbags to make good laws for the jobs they're going to go back to. It's just a nice little breakdown I wanted to give you guys because I'm getting sick of people that don't understand what crony capitalism is. And love more laws and more regulations and more banishments of our freedoms. It's not what I love. That's not what you should love. If you love your family, if you love yourself, if you love your country or your city or your town,